So how do we proceed when we have a problem that we can't solve? We have to, we analyze and we try to find, okay, what class of words in terms of grammar does and belong to? Are there any other words that fit in that same class? Once we get the class together, then we can analyze similarities and differences and figure out what's going on. So that was my approach. Let's see here. Okay, so what I figured was that these, whatever class this was in, must have some kind of meaning with some subtle differences depending on which one I chose. So in addition to form, we want to talk about what meaning these words have. And then in addition to that, how native speakers actually use them. Okay, so we want to consider grammar at three levels. The form, the meaning, what relationship do they express, and then how do native speakers use them in context to get this precision of meaning across. So, class, fanboys. Does anybody recognize this as an acronym? No? Okay. I learned it, I guess, undergraduate. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Okay, and fanboys, you think, I remembered it's probably terribly politically incorrect, but the old motion pictures or books that I read about life in India in the 1800s, before electricity, you'd have these very aristocratic families who had little boys with the big fan. So that's how I remember this. The fanboys. All right. So when we look at these, there's the list. All right. So this is a list of coordinating conjunctions. Okay. So that's about what I knew when I'm starting to analyze. So coordinating conjunctions, exactly what does that mean, exactly how are they used, and what's the difference between the words in these classes, in this class, and how are they similar? Okay, break it down. Similarities, differences, similarities. What do they connect? Ideas.
Independence.
They can connect independent clauses. What else can they connect?
Phrases.
Phrases? Simple words?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of
Facts.
yes, okay. Grammatically, we have a wide range of structures that they can connect. What about these structures grammatically? We have a rule for when we use this, what kind of structure can be here and what kind of structure can be there. Parallelism. Okay? So we think, okay, we've got to teach grammar that it's parallel structure. If I have a main clause here, I have to have a main clause here. So I like coffee, comma, and I like tea. Or I like coffee and tea. Or I cook on the patio and in the kitchen. Preposition phrases. Form. What about meaning? What meaning do I have, and how does it relate to the form that they reinforce each other? Because we don't do these things arbitrarily. grammar is not just some arbitrary system that said, oh, well, you have to have parallel structure between here and here. Why? Why?
Because what you're saying should have the same importance.
Yes, yes. If you parallel the grammar structure, it's because in your mind, when you're using those words, they express equal ideas. Okay? So, let's consider, I'm not going to do this in the exact order, but let's consider and what does it mean now? Well, we know it means connecting equal ideas. There's meaning there. The ideas are equal. That's true for all of these. How is and special within this group in terms of meaning? What does it mean? And.
It adds information.
We're adding something, that's all, and somehow it's related, okay? But we're not interested in so much what that relationship is, it's just additional. But what if I say something like, see if I get my example to get it exactly right. Yes. William Shakespeare is the best English language poet ever, and he was born in Stratford-on-Avon. This is an actual sentence a student wrote for me one time. William Shakespeare is the best English language poet ever, and he was born in Stratford-on-Avon. And I would, in the past, just let that go. What's going on there?
Ideas are not equally important.
To me, in my opinion. So when I look at it, there's something wrong there, but they're not equally important. I could think of an example where it would be. Suppose you're teaching a class of kindergarten children and you are in Stratford-on-Avon, and your goal is to give those children community pride, develop their self-esteem, they come from a great place. You want them to heighten the effect of where he was born. He was born right here in our town. Okay? And it's perfectly acceptable to do that. But outside of that context, it's strange. And it makes me pause when I read it to try to get into the reader's head. Why does that person think they're equally important? Because I certainly don't. Okay, so that's part of the problem, and it's not recognizing that grammar has meaning attached to it. For years and years, I taught the form. Here's the form, and here's the punctuation, here's how you do it, and go on out into the world. Okay. So, for and, simple addition, nothing else, don't make it do what it can't do. It means addition.